Good morning, Valley of the Sun. Thank you for joining me, your host, Nathan Claiborne of the Phoenix Real Estate Roundup. Today is Wednesday, December 14th. We're almost to the end of this thing, and if you're anything like me, you are definitely looking forward to 2023 and get this year behind us. Today, there are 18,442 active listings on our regional multiple listing service, and the mortgage interest rate, the average 30-year fixed rate mortgage rate, 6.28%. That's a big drop. Earlier in the week, it was 6.39%. And then the Consumer Price Index, the CPI, as everyone likes to call it, came out yesterday, and it was good news. Better news than most people expected. Looks like there is a light at the end of the inflationary tunnel. Thank goodness. Thank goodness. Let's give that a round of applause. And the Fed came out and said that they're going to go ahead and back off of their interest rate hikes instead of hiking it by 0.75% each time. They're going to raise it by 0.5% going forward until we see a little bit more of the inflation come off the top. But good news all around, especially in the mortgage interest rate market. And that is good news if you are looking to purchase a house. Speaking of which, here is what National Association of Realtors expects for next year. 4.78 million existing home sales for 2023. Markets to look out for are all in the South and East. We expect to see a lot of growth in the Texas, Georgia, Florida, Alabama, those areas. People are moving away from the coasts. And down south for some reason I can't understand. But they're still coming to Arizona, don't worry. 4.78 million existing home sales for 2023. That's the prediction. That'll be a 7% drop from the 5.13 million that got sold this year in 2022, and which is great. I mean, here's the thing. We expect, everybody's talking about how the housing market's going to go off a cliff, it's crashing, et cetera, et cetera. Well, 6.8% drop in the number of units sold. I mean, it's not great. We don't want to drop at all, really. But we also can't continue on the rip-roaring pace that was this year and last year and the year before. 4.78 million is still quite a bit. And inventory, indeed, is still lower than it ought to be, than historical averages would have it. So we will have fewer home sales. They will be at flat pricing. NAR says that they expect prices to raise by 0.3% in all of 2023. So that is a flat price environment. And that is what the stats that we have coming out from the National Association of Realtors. Next up on the agenda today, a report from RealtyHop that ranks the most expensive zip codes in the country. Has one zip code here in Arizona. I wonder if anybody, I'll give you a second to think about it. Which zip code could that be? That's right. It's 85253, Paradise Valley, the most expensive zip code in Arizona. It is the 49th most expensive zip code in the country. So before we feel all proud about it, let's look at the top 10 just for fun. Atherton, California, I think that's up in Silicon Valley, with an average median sales price in 2022 of $9 million. Coming in at number second, Sagaponack, New York, 11962. That's in the Hamptons at $6.9 million. LA, the city of LA in California, 90210, comes in at $6.69 million median home price. Boston, Fisher Island, Florida. Those round out the top five. So you got Atherton, California, Sagaponack, New York, Los Angeles, California, Boston, Massachusetts, and Fisher Island, Florida are the most expensive homes in the country, the most expensive zip codes in the country. And today, speaking of expensive, your baller house of the week. Ready? Drum roll. There were a couple big ones sold this week. One in North Scottsdale at 9951 East Sienna Hills Drive. That is up in the Desert Mountain neighborhood, Desert Mountain subdivision, where some beautiful golf courses up there up against the McDowell Mountains. This is a 5-bedroom, 5.5 bathroom, 5,883 square foot, beautiful single-story compound set up against the mountain. Really, really wonderful. It's on a huge, 8-acre lot. Congratulations to those buyers and sellers, both represented by Russ Lyons, Sotheby's International. Great job, you guys. I'm very proud of you. We'll come back next week and we'll find out who sold the Baller House of the Week. I want to thank you for joining me on the Phoenix Real Estate Roundup. We will be back next week with real estate stats, news, and market intelligence from the Phoenix real estate market. Thank you for joining me, Nathan Claiborne, for the Phoenix Real Estate Roundup.